Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. I am here with Hayley for the Oklahoma Counseling Institute Monday Lunchtime Digest. Hey, Hayley.
Hello, how are you today, Micah?
I am doing well. How about you?
I'm great, staying cool and feeling cool.
Uh, nice.
Maybe
Nice.
looking cool too. I don't know.
Well, tell us what's going on with OCI. I know that we just finished up our last workshop for at least for the summer last weekend. So tell us what's going on.
Yeah, so we finished up with our live trainings for this season. We will be starting off our live webinar season starting in September, and we already have registration up for our first live webinar ethics training of the year, which will take place on September 7th from 2 p.m. to 5:15 p.m. It'll be ethics of serving the Latinx community. So if you are wanting to get a head start on your license, you can go ahead and sign up for that. But we still do have about 6 days left until the end of renewal season for LADCs and LPCs. And that being said, we have a brand new on-demand training up. And so back in March, Terry Schuline, our very own, did a presentation with us on using sand tray therapy. And we now have that recorded version up and ready to go. And so I believe as of last count, Micah, we have 138 hours of on-demand training in our catalog. And so if you have not finished up your renewal for this year, there is still time, still plenty of resources. Go to counselinginstitute.org to find that training and more. And Tom and I will be working over these next few weeks to get some more up. And so just be on the lookout. Join our email list. If you're not on our email list, send me an email, hello@edmondcounseling.com, and I will add you to that so you can be alerted when we have all these brand new on-demand and live trainings coming up.
Fantastic. And, one of the things I know that I hear from people is, whenever they come to us, they can rest assured that their continuing education is approved. And so, sometimes by going with, some of those often out of state providers, that, getting some continuing education from them, you can't be guaranteed that they are Oklahoma board approved. And so with Oklahoma Counseling Institute, all of our stuff is Oklahoma board approved. So you don't have to worry about that piece at all. And so we are happy to do that for people and honor that people entrust us with their continuing education.
Absolutely.
And also, we are starting to plan for fall already and winter. And I know you talked a little bit about Winter Webinar Weekend and also our live webinars that are coming around in the fall and the winter. And I heard from a social worker just last week saying that she's eager to attend those because social workers have to get a certain number of theirs that are, live. If it's telehealth or not telehealth, but if it's, webinar or in person. And so I was telling her about those. So if you have any social work friends that are going to be trying to get their continuing education by December, then certainly keep us in mind.
Absolutely. We'll have lots of opportunities. Like I said, September's already has some signups. We already have one person who's signed up. They're ready to go. So get a head start on those CEs. I know we're not quite finished up with the LPC, LADC renewal season, but it's not too early to plan for next year.
That's right. That's right. And as Haley's already said, you can go counselinginstitute.org, check out all of our continuing education, also see other things that we're doing. We are working on a lot of different projects here over the summer to introduce for the fall. And as Haley's already said, sign up for our continuing education notification list, and you will be emailed whenever those things happen. So Haley, I have a couple of news for us. And so first of all, I don't know if you saw on the Facebook feed yet, but I made a reel. I think it was maybe the second reel I've ever done, but I went out and visited Valley Hope. So Valley Hope of Cushing just had their 50th anniversary out there and had a chance to go out there on Saturday, visit with them. Also got to meet with some providers that are providing some really interesting services. And so I put that on the reel. So got to meet with someone that's providing some equine therapy. And so got to meet with her, and then also someone who has a group for children whose parents are dealing with substance abuse. And so got to meet with her. Those are on that reel. If you just check out our Facebook page, and you can see that there. Also, one of the things that I found out there, the VFW, the local post, was out there and found out that the VFW often helps veterans that are maybe needing immediate assistance with food or clothing or something like that. And so by going to your local post, and he says it really depends on how active the post is, but their post out there is very active. He says, yeah, if a veteran goes to a local post and just says, hey, I'm really needing help with groceries, this month, or I'm needing some clothing or whatever need that it is, he says a lot of them will help in those situations. So if people have clients that maybe aren't able to get help as quickly from, the VA or from maybe other services, then keeping that in mind for veterans as well. Talking about resources, so beaneighbor.org is a new resource database that has been started by the state. And so go to beaneighbor.org and you can click there for different things such as, food assistance, transportation. It has a mental health category, all types of different categories there. So to be able to click that and find resources to help clients with those different needs. And then the last is the Summer Cooling Assistance Program, which is by the Oklahoma Department of Human Services. So if you go to oklahomadhslive.org, then go there and can apply for the Summer Cooling Assistance Program. And so my understanding from that, if someone is, their account is in default, if they're not up to date, well, it's not necessarily to help those people as much as it's people that their account is up to date, but they just recognize that they're going to have a hard time paying their cooling for the summer. So they can be able to provide some assistance that way.
Wonderful. And I know too that, folks have been delinquent on bills and whatnot, that 211.org has a lot of resources as well of local churches or local community organizations that do offer some bill support too.
Fantastic. All right. So there's another resource for people to be able to help out our clients. So Hayley, who is our winner for this week?
So our winner for this week is a mysterious figure by the name of Cale Black. Does he ring a bell, Micah?
Cale Black. I don't know if I've ever heard of him. Who is he?
Oh, Cale Black. So Dr. Lack has an alter ego of Cale Black. And so Dr. Lack, you are a winner again this week. Thank you so much for liking. And what did Dr. Lack win? What did Cale Black win?
He got a Subway gift card. So
Yay.
Congratulations, Cale Black, on winning the Subway gift card. And tell us, how did he win, Hayley?
So he won by liking our post from last week. And just like always, if you like this post, if you comment on this post, if you share this post, every time you do one of those three things, you get entered into our drawing for next week's prize. And so this week's question is, what is the best music to listen to in the summertime? And so if you tell us this in the comments, and again, you'll be entered into the drawing for next week. So Micah, what do you feel like is the best music to listen to in the summertime?
Anything from the 80s and 90s is the best music to listen to in the summertime. Yeah.
Oh, that's just in general for you.
I know. I'm not the music connoisseur that my wife is. She would say anything George Michael, because that's her favorite. But anything from the 80s and 90s, I'm good. So Hayley, how about you? What is your favorite thing to listen to?
Oh man, anytime it gets warm, I turn on the Chili Peppers. Red Hot Chili Peppers is my favorite summertime music. I think because when I was 20, I went to a music festival and got to see them. And so it just brings me back to June in the Tennessee field where it was really hot, just listening to the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And so I like to tune them on in the summertime.
And you probably got to see more of Flea than you wanted to. Probably.
I saw a lot of Flea. There was a lot. I have so many stories from that trip. I could fill a book, but yes, I did.
Yeah. And, there was I think it was a 60 Minutes story about them a few years ago, which here they are older and they're like grandparents and stuff like that. So there's Flea running around with his grandkid, I think, still going on tour. It was very, very strange to see them like that.
It really is. And I saw that there's a biopic of Kitus coming out too, based off of his book, which is, it's interesting to think that they've been around long enough for a biopic to be released. That blows my mind.
Yeah, definitely. So we would love to hear what you guys have going on. And so I talked about Valley Hope a minute ago. And so if your place is having an open house or is having a celebration of some sort, or having some new services, then please just drop us a line at hello@edmondcounseling.com, or you can send us a text or a phone call and just let us know what you have going on. We'd love to help promote what's going on with you with the Oklahoma Counseling Institute. And also, if people are getting their continuing education and things like that, as I've already said, you can go to counselinginstitute.org and get your continuing education there. So anytime that you do a continuing education with us, a workshop, a live webinar, an on-demand course, you tell a colleague about us, you like a post, you share a post, you are helping to support the mission of providing quality continuing education, relevant news, and resources for Oklahoma mental health professionals. So thank you guys so much.
Yes, thank you so much. You give us some music recommendations.
That's right. Can't wait to hear from you. All right. We'll see everyone next week.
See you next week.